Hello and welcome to our Glow Getters episode 3. My name's Laura McGuinness. I'm on today to interview the creative genius behind Papercut Posies, Shona Rogerson, who is a GGC Business member and Diamond member as well. So I'm just going to wait. I see that Shona has joined, so I'm just going to get her in for a chat now. She should be with us in 2 minutes. Or maybe less. There she is! Oh, did you hear Haggis was even excited about that? Hold on and I'll close this door. How are you, Shona?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been really looking forward to today. And you know what? Like, I feel like I've got hunters to talk about. So I hope people aren't put off if this is like 45 minutes long or something. I've got so much to talk about, and I've also got a discount code as well. So yeah.
Yes. Amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I am just obsessed with your brand, and that's like a genuine obsession out with obviously GGC Business member obsession that I have as well.
Oh, I know. Well, and you know that I'm pure obsessed with GGC, so the feeling's mutual. But you know, I've actually just come here and I've sat on the squeakiest chair ever. So like,
That's
when I get
okay.
excited, it'll be squeaking away.
We love a blooper on our lives. Like that's what it's all about. It's just real life.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
Yeah.
always go to plan. You'll probably see behind me, I've actually got like a Disney kingdom behind me. So super profesh.
Take it, that's your living room, yeah.
No, this is actually Bella Rose's room, and it's the best room for light. So I'm like, oh well, Disney behind us. Let's go for it. So let's get into the nitty gritty, Shona. Tell us about you and tell us about your beautiful brand.
Oh, well, thank you. So, yeah, so I'm Shona and I own Papercut Posies, which is making these paper flowers. So I've put this display behind me so you can see the variety of colours and different flowers that I've got. But yeah, I make paper flowers, which is so like unusual. And paper flowers can be used for loads of different things. Originally, my business was directed at weddings,
Yep.
but of course, I had to be a bit versatile about that last year. So I make gorgeous bouquets for gifts, so birthdays and special occasions, and then I do matching stationery for them as well. So it's a lot I can do with a paper flower. So
Well, yes, you can do so much with a bit of paper. It's actually unbelievable. And I have to say, your gifts are so nice because I know I just seen Vic comment there, and I bought her for her birthday one of your kind of memory bunches, and you put all sorts of different photos within one flower, and it's just a really special thing to gift someone, I think.
yeah, I know totally, and I think that's the good thing with it being paper flowers, because not only can it last forever and you can get loads of different colours, but you can print on paper as
Yeah.
well. So you can include. You had photos of you and Vic on a beach, which made me so jealous. So yeah, photographs, they can be of anything. So it can be photos of you and your friends, families. It could even be like some people have sent me little emblems that mean something to them.
Oh,
Some
nice.
even sent me a picture of like their order of service for a wedding from like their Ruby wedding. So it was so nice to kind of include that. Yeah, some of the pictures are gorgeous that people send me.
Oh, so lovely. Like, when did you first discover that you were such an expert when it came to creating things from paper? How did that happen?
Do you know what? I actually think my whole business model is a wee bit back to front, right? Because you would think that I'd started off making paper bouquets and then decided to use the flowers like elsewhere, like and be a bit creative about it. But actually, the bouquets themselves were like one of my most latest products to add. So it's a wee bit back to front because I learned how to make a paper flower when I used to make cakes. So I
Okay.
used to make like celebration and birthday cakes, and then I moved on to wedding cakes. And loads of wedding cakes require flowers on them, right? And I just couldn't do the sugar ones. I couldn't do a sugar flower. I just thought it looked an absolute riot. And I thought, surely there's another way I can make a beautiful flower. And I just stumbled across people making paper flowers, and then I gave it a go. So my business originally, Paper Flowers, was introduced just to put on wedding cakes. And
That's
then it went
amazing.
from there. I know, it's strange, isn't it? And then some of my brides were saying, oh, do you know, I love your paper flowers, because what they would do then is they would keep them from their
Yeah.
wedding cake. They could put them in a frame or something, but they would say to me, can you do something else with the paper flower? Like, can you include it in my stationery or like my invites or something? Then I was like, actually, yeah, I can. So then I've moved on to doing stationery, and then moved on to doing bouquets. So like it was kind of like the back. That's what I mean about it being back to front.
I think it's so, that's like such a good story, because it shows like business owners or anybody who's thinking about starting a business that you might actually end up somewhere that you've never imagined, and that's okay, because
Oh,
that's where you're meant to
yeah.
be.
Yeah, totally. And do you know what? I had listened to the buffet lady. She'd done a podcast, and she was talking about her business and how before you start a business, you plan for the day that you launch. And I thought mine was totally the opposite way around. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to be my own boss, and I didn't
Yes.
know what that was going to be. So I started a cake business, but ultimately, like, I don't do cakes anymore. But yeah, I thought I don't want to work in a corporate environment anymore. So
Yeah.
I just made the leap before actually thinking, what is it you want to do?
Quite right, and I think that that's like that's good advice to anybody who's trying to perfect things too much. We spoke about this in the past couple of lives as well. Like sometimes there's no point in aiming for perfection because it's so subjective, and sometimes you just need to go for it.
Yeah, totally, totally. I'm seeing loads of lovely comments from people here. They're so nice.
I know.
Thank you.
Let's have a wee read of some of the comments. Let's see. Yeah, so Vic's saying that she loves her bouquet, pride of place in her house. That's so lovely. Amy, high faves. That's so nice. There's Heather saying you did a gorgeous logo rose for Cardney staging events for us as the perfect corporate gift. That's a
Yeah,
good
that's right.
idea.
Yeah, Heather had arranged it as a thank you to them, and we used their brand colours in their bouquet, and then one of their roses had their emblem in it. Yeah.
That is clever. Very, very
Yeah.
clever. Go, Shona. Wow, it's paid off. Right, amazing. Okay, so you mentioned, Shona, that you've been on this journey with your business, and the bouquets have become like such a focus of. Would you say that it was through lockdown through this past year? Because you mentioned that you know the wedding industry has been so hard hit. So do you feel as though it's lockdown that's driven you towards doing the more giftable?
Yeah, so I would say it's a mixture of lockdown and GGC, right?
Oh,
So uh, I had, when lockdown came about, so I've told you about me having a cake business, and I decided I'm not going to do cakes anymore. I'd fallen out of love with it, right? And I had fallen in love with making flowers.
okay.
So I had decided the 1st of January 2020, cakes were no more. Papercut Posies was going to be my one and only brand, and something I gave my all to. So that was great. That was in January. And my first wedding that I'd done all their stationery, their decorations, their invites, that was on March the 14th. And
Oh,
then there was lockdown.
oh
So
my goodness.
yeah, but I had loads of big weddings, big plans coming up, and they just got pushed out. But I genuinely thought for lockdown, I thought it was just going to be the 3 weeks. Like I marked it in my diary. That's how naive I was.
Oh no.
Then over, no bother. Like we'll get back to normal in no time. So actually, I feel like it took me a wee while to realise you need to change your business.
Mhm.
And I didn't join the GGC Business group until about June.
Okay, yeah.
Um, because I was so convinced everything was going to go back to normal. And then I think I realised about 3 months into lockdown, do you know what? It's not. Everything's getting worse. And,
I
you
know.
know, wedding, the wedding industry isn't as strong as what, you know, its reputation is. So I decided to join GGC because I needed a direction. And then you guys were having a garden party at Blytheswood Square. And
Yeah.
as part of like your invites, you'd asked me if I could put a flower in with it. Now I thought, how am I going to do that? I thought I don't know how will I wrap them? I don't know. But I thought this is a brilliant opportunity because you're inviting loads of people that have got a voice in the business world. I thought I need to do something. This is a great chance. So that collaboration came about, and that's where I made my first little bouquet. So it was a tiny little posy. So instead of there's just the one flower, I think I had about four. But I was still figuring out how to wrap them, how to box them. It was really quite awkward, but I really loved doing it. And then it just kind of like literally blossomed from there. Oh my God, who can do?
I love it, the fun.
About all these little things I could have dropped in here that relate to flowers. Yeah. So it just came from there, and then it was like suddenly I was like, do you know what? I could offer this as a gift range. So then I launched the gift bouquets, and that's how it fell in. And I'm so glad, because otherwise Papercut Posies wouldn't have survived at all if I just stayed in my little silo of thinking I only provide for weddings. I wouldn't have survived lockdown.
Oh,
So,
well, look how far you've come, because you literally launched your built your own website all on your own, launched it, and then you were celebrating within what, 2 months, like 100 sales.
yeah, I know. So I'm coming up to 200 sales through my website, which I just launched January there, which is funny because I feel like January the 1st of 2021, I just launched my website. Like, I mean, I had a website before, but really it was just a landing page,
Okay.
uh, like to say that I had a website, you know, like,
Yeah.
but this was about people being able to buy through it without having the clunky process of having to send me a DM and share bank details. So this makes it really easy, and it just seems to have like grown from there too. And it's a wee bit like I can't believe it. Like I need to pinch myself.
Oh, it's so deserved though. You work so hard. That's why you're doing so well. So business is blooming. Thought I would jump in on that there. Best piece of advice you've ever been given? Like, so from the beginning to now, even back when you were doing your cakes before, is there like a standout piece of advice you were given in relation to your business?
So yes, now I've had tons and tons of advice, like specifically for me as a person or me as a business. Like we've had loads, really valuable stuff that really gets you thinking. Like little, I've even told you before, like GGC's been the pure light bulb to my business. It's
Oh,
really fine. I think that something that really stood out to me though is, see, even before being self-employed, someone had suggested to me to watch this video that's called What If Money Was No Object?
oh, okay.
Right, so it's a little YouTube video, it's only like 5 minutes long. So what if money was no object? And it gets you to think, see if you're stuck in a rut. So I was working in a bank, and I was so comfortable with a guaranteed monthly income, sick pay, maternity pay if I needed it, all these staff benefits, like
Yep.
discounts on the mortgage, like all that kept me in a job that I was really unhappy with.
Mhm.
And someone had said to me, do you know what? See if money wasn't a factor, what would you be doing with your life? What would you be doing? And it really made me think I would not be doing this. I wouldn't be where I am just now. And that's what that just stuck in the back of my mind. And I always thought to myself, if I get the opportunity, or if I make the opportunity for myself, then I just need to go for it. And
Yep.
that's when I was lucky to get offered a voluntary redundancy. So I jumped at the chance for that. And that's how I ended up being self-employed before thinking about what I actually want to do.
Okay.
But I was like, I just know I don't want to be my own boss. So that advice to me. So I would always think to myself, what if money was no object? Would you be doing what you're doing? And I think that like Laurie from the Fairy Job Mother talks about that a lot. Like, are you in a job that you really don't like?
Yep.
Have you set up a wee business as a side job, but really you want to do it full time? I would just be brave and go for it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I think mentally I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I think I'm a nicer person to be around. When I was in the bank, I was a manager, and I was one of those managers that'd be like, "You're 5 minutes late. What's going on? Get in the room and apologise to me."
Oh, please. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's such a good question to ask. It'd be good to ask anyone that's watching just now, like, if money was no object, would you be doing what you're currently doing? Or would you be doing something different? Because yeah, it is, you spend so much of your life working, or if you're a business owner growing your business, that it only makes sense that you love what you do, doesn't it?
Yeah, and chasing your pay packet, like. But I think, see, when I started, if I'm honest with you, Laura, loads of people would say to me, "Oh, do you think that you'll make money out of that?"
Okay.
And I know it was coming from like a caring place,
Yeah.
so offensive. Like, why do you think, why would I be starting my business and thinking I can't pay my bills every month?
Yeah.
But that is something that I guarantee worries everyone about starting a business.
Yeah.
And just because it's making paper flowers, it might sound a bit daft, doesn't mean it needs to be a failure. And I'm now in a position where I'm earning money like I was when I was in the bank, because I work my socks off. I'm so much happier doing it. So just because you think to yourself, oh, I would love to do that, doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be skint.
No.
Like, if you become an expert in it, people will enjoy that and pay you for your worth.
Yes, 100%. And we talk about that a lot in our business club, don't we? About like knowing your value and charging a price that encompasses your experience, your expertise, and it's so powerful. So you do. So tell us then, Shona, because you are an absolute genius when it comes to Instagram. Like
Yeah.
your Insta game is so strong, and it's creative. You know, you get behind the camera all the time. You showcase making flowers, different things like that. Talk us through your process of creating such a great Instagram account.
Oh, do you know, I wish I knew you were going to ask me this question, because I would have brought my notebook from the house with me. So not every night, but I've got a notebook I have in the house, and I think I deliberately have it in the house so that it doesn't consume me when I come to work.
Yeah,
But I literally draw out my grid. So
good.
I draw squares out. I know this might sound so simple, but I literally draw squares out. So there's maybe, I think there's 12
Yeah.
rows of 3, and then I just write inside each box what I'm planning on doing. If I don't do that, I will just be like, oh, what will I post today? And I'll
Yeah.
probably spend about 3 hours thinking, oh, should I post that? Will that match that colour? And I think I would go a bit nuts with it. So I literally plan it out. And now I've got like a wee pattern. You probably never notice it from looking at my Instagram, but it goes in a pattern.
Oh, I do notice
Um,
it. I think it's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So that helps as well for me to kind of plan my day. But I think to start off with, I was really obsessed with my Instagram and making sure it was perfect. But people just don't buy into that perfect. In fact, I've got a picture I've taken, and I'm going to share it. I'm just going to be brave and sharing it. I wonder if Heather's still watching, because I had sent it to her and she was pissing herself laughing. And it's like me mid sneeze, right? So I'm like pure. And do you know, I think I'm just going to post it because I'm like mid sneeze. But the whole point in it is to talk about how these flowers are ideal for people that suffer from allergies, right?
Yes.
So it's such an ugly picture, like it's rank, but it's real life,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, I've angled this camera to try and get away from my double chin, but
Oh,
like on series, I show my double chin quite a lot, and I feel like I'm quite natural on my stories. My grid
yeah.
is a wee bit more regimented. It's a wee bit more stylized. But the Jerry Campbell from GGC as
Yeah.
well, she talks a lot about making sure people know you, like your personal brand. There needs to be a person in there.
Yeah.
And social media, you need to be social. So I really, this is what I was talking about, all this advice that I get, and
Yeah.
you know, maybe directed solely to me or to the wider community, but there's loads of advice, and that is something that I've taken on board, and it really works for me.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when people send me messages and be like, hi Shona, and I have no idea who they are, like I've never met them before, but they know me,
Yes.
you know, like I love that.
Amazing. Amazing. So with regards to Instagram specifically then, because you have nailed it, like you've got the secret sauce, you're driving traffic, you know, you're getting the sales. Would you say Instagram's your biggest sales driver?
I say it is because my products are very visual.
Yeah.
So what I've told some of the girls in the Glasgow Girl Club before is not to worry about having a perfect Instagram if you're selling a service. So
Yeah.
if it's a product, you can take pictures and you can show it. So I think my Instagram's really good for that, because it's a picture you're looking at.
Yeah.
That's what grabs your attention. Facebook hasn't been as popular because, to me, I think Facebook's more of a opportunity to chat, talk about services. You can have Facebook groups talking about a service that you provide, whereas I provide a product. I
Yeah.
mean, my probably personality and conversation can be a service, but it's you don't pay for that.
That's added value.
Yeah, that's a freebie. So yeah, Instagram is definitely, I can tell from my website as well. So this is another good thing about me creating my website, is I can tell where people are finding my website. So
Yeah.
it's the majority of it is clicking on my bio and my Instagram. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So if you were to give people like a couple of tips then on Instagram and a product-based business, what would be like one or two tips that you would say, right, focus, make that a wee focus?
I would say factor in a variety of different pictures. So for me, I factor in the product, which obviously is like my bouquet of flowers. That's going to be the majority of stuff. So a finished product, factor in showing how you make your product. So I picture all of your tools, a little reel of you making a flower. What else could it be? It could just be you setting up for the day, like what that looks like. Maybe your ingredients you use, if you're cakes or wax melts or something. So I would do that, and then I would talk about little steps like how do you order?
Yeah.
What does it look like when it comes in a box? How do you package it? What does it smell like? Like, I mean, I spray my flowers with a wee bit of perfume. Is that important for you to know? I think it is.
Yes.
Little things like my business card, like one of my most popular posts when I look at who has looked at my post, one of my most popular ones is my business card. Posted a picture of that and people were like, oh, what's that? And having a good reread. So yeah,
Yep.
it's about having a mixture of different stages of your product. Some of the Instagram grids I see are beautiful and they're all of the finished product, but it's good to know the person behind it. So get your face in there as well.
Yes.
I
It's
mean, people say to me, "Oh, you're so natural," and I'm like, "You have no, you don't look at my camera roll. There's like, it's like a collage of me going."
oh, I love it. I love it. I think the bloopers are always the best. But like it takes practice, doesn't it? It takes practice to be able to go on screen because it's really scary when you first
Yeah,
start doing it. And you're
yeah,
nervous about being live and making mistakes. And then you have like a few and you're like, oh, it's fine. I will make mistakes. I'll just deal with it.
yeah. Like I've dropped my camera and stuff before, and like if you're live, just you have to roll with it, eh?
You do, you do.
Yeah,
Well, one thing is for sure, you tell a story, and I think, and like you've said, and like Jerry has advised, it's important to tell a story with your brand because people buy into it, don't they?
yeah, they do. But do you know, sometimes I think my story is a bit boring. Do you know,
No,
like I sometimes see when it's you think, why would people be interested in that? Why would people be interested in me? But they are. Like people
yeah,
are nosy, especially on social media.
yeah.
They want to know the social side of you. So yeah,
Well, that is the one of the whole draws of social media, isn't it? It allows you to be like almost like a voyeur into other people's lives. Like you're
yeah.
actually just nosy. Like
But you
that.
know what? One of the nosiest things I get quite a lot, and it makes me laugh, is people try and guess my age. And see, and see it when it was my birthday there, they were like, "How old are you?" And I had posted something about it was like the day before my birthday, and I'd got in the car and the radio came on, and it was the song that was number one on my birthday was playing. And I'd asked people to guess, and they couldn't guess if I was talking about the original or the remake that was like 20 years later. And I was like, there's a big gap there. So what are you trying to say? Are you trying to guess between 40 or 20? Like, um, people are genuinely curious, and I love it. I'm like, keep guessing.
That's amazing. So have you ever given it away, or is that like just one of your
I let people know if they've guessed right, but yeah.
okay, interesting, right? Brilliant. Okay, so lessons you've learned, like so as business owners, you do learn the hard way, don't you? And there's every business is got like errors or things that are deemed to be failures, but actually they're just lessons.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been your biggest so far?
It's getting the right value,
Mhm.
price yourself right.
Yeah.
that is one of the main reasons why I gave up my cake business, because when I had started, I had no idea what to charge, right? I was growing up in a household where it was the same Greg's cake that we got for our birthdays every year. I mean, we laugh about it because all the pictures, it's this same white cake with a red ribbon around it. Like, I wasn't growing up with like the big kind of princess, like, even one year I'd even made my niece and her friends Finding Nemo cake that had a fish tank in it, like with fishes swimming.
Oh
Like,
my God, amazing.
I mean, it was amazing, but then people were like, "Oh, how much is that?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "I don't know how much I would charge." So that is one of the biggest things. I had to walk away from it because I had created a reputation of being the cheap cake lady. My cakes were shit hot. They tasted amazing. I mean, I went from being a size 12 to almost an 18, so they tasted amazing.
So the tasting was an element of it then.
Yeah.
Amazing, best part.
Because I'm a crafty person, and that's what I loved about the cakes, was actually like creating it. So I had made like the Hank the octopus to sit on the top, and like it looked brilliant,
Yeah.
all from sugar. I loved that. So of course the decorating of it was going to look great. I was just charging far too little for them, and it became difficult to then increase my prices.
Yeah.
Especially that kind of business where people refer you. So, you know, like the mum would be saying, "Oh, isn't that cake amazing?" And you know what? I got that 3-tier cake for 50 quid.
Yeah.
And then that would just be rife, and people would get in touch with you. And if I decided to change my price, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So I had to just walk away from it.
Yeah.
I couldn't recover really. I'd started off far too cheap, and I felt like I couldn't justify bringing my prices back up. I felt a bit cheeky asking for what I was worth too, because I hadn't done it before. So that was my biggest lesson.
Okay.
And it's a hard one. It's a hard one to put a value on your worth, but you need to do it.
Yeah, it is. It's hard, and especially when you're just like fresh into a business as well, because you're trying to find the balance between getting the customers and it is, and then you don't really maybe at that point know, like, you know, you don't believe in yourself maybe as much as you would now as a business owner when you've come through so much. So would you say obviously your time, like this business journey, is just you're now at a point where you know your value and you know your worth?
Yeah, I would definitely say product wise. So if I'm making a product, like I'll know exactly how much that's worth and how much my profit is.
Yeah.
Would I say I give myself minimum wage? Probably not, because I work far too much, especially with lockdown. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Like I work loads. I don't think I'd be able to get my business to this point if I hadn't been kept in all weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there's that kind of balance as well, where you need to, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I've given up the whole make sure you at least earn minimum wage, because I just think if you own and run your own business and you're passionate about it, you kind of never switch off. Like, it's always there. So you would end up paying yourself an absolute fortune if you paid minimum wage. But
I know, no, I totally get you. And also then, so for you as well, like lockdown has kind of made you re-strategize. You've been working so much. How are you feeling about kind of coming out of lockdown with the work-life balance element of being a business owner?
I know it's an interesting one, because weddings are starting to pick up again. So, like for example, this month I've got 3 customers whose weddings we're making their wedding samples for their invites, and we're getting that underway. So a lot of focus and attention comes on that. So it's going to be interesting for me to get a balance between my wedding couples who will get a lot of attention, you know, like they deserve. And also then there's seasonal items. So Mother's Day there was jam-packed for these gift bouquets. So I think going forward, I'm just going to need to be clever to anticipate like peaks for the bouquets, like the gift bouquets, and peaks for the wedding, and just kind of work it like that. Like Christmas is going to be really popular for gift bouquets.
Yes.
So I would need to keep that in my mind when I'm taking bookings for weddings. Just
Yes.
to think about it. Yeah.
I know, because Christmas as well, because you created as well for the GGC our Christmas virtual night in, you created the wee crackers.
Yeah, I did.
So they were amazing. So you'll have crackers, you'll have tree decorations. I mean, Christmas is going to be like the
Yeah.
mantelpiece
Yes.
things going down, banisters. Like you're going to be. Would you think about taking on like a wee apprentice or?
Do you know, like that's possibly something that I think that's where imposter syndrome sneaks in, because it's like, am I really at the stage where I need to hire help? Like, is it getting that good that I now need help? So there was the Kickstarter scheme from the government that would have been ideal, but they pulled it from sole traders, and I think they started to reintroduce it, but then I was too quiet.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I don't know. I would need to consider it. It's one of those things though. It's a bit scary when it's your baby.
of course. I
Like
know.
everything is me. Like it's the face of me. So it would be a bit daunting. But yeah, it's definitely something I need to consider. Otherwise, I just don't know how or when I would sleep.
Well, that's it. And like you say, weddings are now going to really come back around, and you're going to have the demand all round. So I can definitely see you having a team
Yeah,
around you, Shona. That's amazing.
the little emblems on their t-shirt and stuff.
Oh yeah, that would be so good.
Yeah, a paper flower corsage that I like really pin.
Love it, love it. Right, okay, so let's chat. So you've recently launched a range whereby you have named the bouquets after like inspirational women, people, groups, different things like that. Tell us about that, and then tell us about the Bella Rose bouquet.
Yeah, so looking at other florists that provide real flowers, they have ranges that are named. They've got lovely names to them to make it easy for people just to pick a bouquet. And I thought that's maybe where I am missing something to make it easy for customers just to say, do you know what, I want that. How can I have that one? Um, so I thought what I'll do is I'll design some bouquets where people can just say, I want to buy a paper bouquet with very little effort. And this is going to be my options. And then I thought, what will I call them? Will I go for like flower names, something really pretty? And I thought, you know what, this is a really good way for me to honour like women in my life who have inspired me or supported me in some way. So far I have got Alba, who's named after my best friend's little girl.
Oh,
And she's got blush and ivory colours in it. The blush and ivory is actually possibly one of the most popular requested bouquets that I've got. So there's that. And I've got Emma, who's named after my sister-in-law, so my man's sister. And she's just bright flowers. And I thought of Emma for that one because anytime I'm in her company, like I'm proper howling laughing, like ugly face laughing. Like so when I'm in Emma's company with her and her man and her kids, we're just totally howling laughing. So that's why I've got Emma in there. And I've got Kiva, so it's spelled the Irish way. Kiva,
okay.
that's my niece. That's my sister's wee girl. So named after my like, and for my sister. And Kiva's all purple, and that's her favourite colour, purples and pinks.
Oh,
So then I thought, how can I honour GGC? Because that's possibly the only reason why I'm sitting where I am. Otherwise,
oh,
I'd be like, when are weddings starting? Come on.
oh, bless you. You would always have found a way, Shona, I have no doubt.
So yeah, the Bella Rose has been named after your gorgeous daughter. So I thought, what better way to honour all the Glasgow Girl Club girls than to have a bespoke bouquet named after them. So it's actually this one here.
Oh,
Like
I
this is
love it.
this is the Bella Rose, and it's all pink roses that's on it.
Oh,
Um,
honestly, I'm obsessed by it.
they're so nice, aren't they? They're Tiffany roses, and they're all made out of paper. And that's an example of the large bouquet. So you can get large or small. And I'm offering a discount. Did I tell you that?
Yes, tell us what it is.
Yeah, so it's just GGC 10. And you get 10% off. any bouquet, so it doesn't need to be the Bella Rose. It could be
Amazing.
the photograph bouquet. It could be the song lyric one. And where you can pick your own colours, so you can go in and it's any bouquet. It's just GGC 10, where you get 10% off. But yeah,
Amazing.
they're
It's so beautiful because I've got a bouquet, and see when you open the box, so obviously you would have seen there when Shona pulled them out. They come in the wee cones, so it's all prettily designed. So let's have a wee. So they arrive like that, and they arrive in this big box. And the minute you open the box, you smell the perfume that you've sprayed on them. So you're like, wow. And it's like really, you can really smell it. It's
yeah.
amazing. It's like it's totally ingrained in that paper. It's a beautiful smell. And I've got it in the summer house, and I was going to take you down there today, but the internet's rubbish in there. So I was like, oh, best keep the interview going rather than having it. But no, I've got mine down there and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to buy a bouquet for my mum and mother-in-law and get the memory roses, so I'm going to get lots of different pictures of Bella Rose and a rose in them as well, because you can keep them forever, can't you?
Yeah, of course. And then you can add to them too. So like if there's maybe another member of the family coming, or if there's something else like you want to celebrate, you can get just a personalised rose on its own and add into it. So yeah, it could be something really special that just lasts forever.
Oh, so amazing. Right, okay, so you said that you joined the GGC Business Club in June. So tell us a wee bit about what you feel because this GLOWGETTERS Live episode is all to cover GGC Business members and just find out about you, find out about your brand, your tips, everything that you've been through in your business journey, but also to find out, how you're getting on with the club, what you think of it. Is there anything that we can do to jazz it up even more? So what are your if someone was to ask you, Shona, what do you think about GGC Business, what would you say?
Well, before I signed up, I asked a couple of people that I knew had already been part of it what their thoughts were and if it was worth their while. Because to be honest with you, I didn't know if I could afford to pay a subscription.
Yeah.
And if it would be worth value. And they said to me, one of the girls said to me, you get out of it what you put in.
Yeah.
And I just think, well, I was at the time where I wanted to put hunters into something, so I would expect to get hunters out, and I've got more than that out, I think. So
That's
I think
amazing.
things like your Friday meetings, so the coffee club. When I first signed up and I saw you advertising the coffee club, I was genuinely like, can I come to that? I'm not sure if like I'm part of that group, if it's too cliquey, or like I just didn't know if it was somewhere that I would belong. So I had asked maybe it was yourself or Heather, can I come along? And you were like, hell yeah. And then
please do bring a bottle.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I don't have any coffees. All right, for a gin, yeah.
Yes.
But the Friday meetings, what I love about them is focusing on the wins. So not what's happened in your week. So you don't ask, like, tell me what's happened to your week. You ask, what's your wins of the week? And it really gets you to think, oh, do you know what? Even if I had a pure shit week, there must have been something good about it. So like you really have to hunt, or it's a chance for you to totally gloat about something amazing that's happened that maybe your friends won't understand or your partner just won't get. You can just be like, do you know what? I've hit this today and it's made me feel $1 million. I love that. It's such a good feel-good feeling on a Friday. And then there's the accountability meeting, which I'm partnered up with Leanne, who's a mortgage advisor. So wouldn't you think like a mortgage and life protection person and a person with paper flowers, just it's a bit of an odd combo. But got on so well. Like, she's proper one of my best pals.
Yeah.
And the two of us started our business kind of at the same stage when we got like paired up.
Yeah.
And the point of us, and we've now got Jerry, the photographer, as well as a trio. But the point of us is just to make sure that we encourage each other.
Yeah.
We say to each other, like, what are your goals for the month? And it's just to say them out loud. If I didn't have someone to say these goals to out loud, I don't think I would fulfill them. Like, I have to tell Leanne and Jerry, my goal this month is to launch my new wreaths.
Yeah.
So if by the end of the month I haven't launched the new wreaths, I'm not letting them down really, but I just need to reflect and tell myself, why? You
Why?
know?
Absolutely. It's about being accountable to your to-do list, isn't it? Because as a business owner, if you're you're out on your own, especially, you've got every day or whenever you're working, you've got a to-do list that you know you need to tick through. But and then you've got goals that you want to achieve. But really, if you've not really mentioned them to anyone, it's quite easy to be like, oh well, I didn't achieve
Mhm.
it. But whereas if you've got a couple of people that are saying, why didn't you achieve it, Shona? Then you're like, right, you are
Yeah,
actually accountable, aren't you?
totally. Because I even remember once I posted a picture to say something like this, right? Can you imagine me been, and it said something like, this week I've made like 80 flowers. And I was like pure chuffing myself. But like I had like I need to sell them. Like
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
so like yeah, Leanne's always like that, but have you got a financial goal? And I would be like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you've made like 150 flowers. What are you doing with them? And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, I suppose I need to like honestly, and I say often, like if I don't have a financial goal, I think I would just sit and make hundreds of flowers and they would just I'd like have a bed of them. They wouldn't go
But that's
anywhere.
it, isn't it? Because you're playing to your strengths. So like you're really super creative, and I would say that I'm definitely more creative than the kind of money like analytical elements of the business. So it is. It's been able to be like, right, okay, I know that I enjoy that and I do that so well, but actually to have these processes in place which enable you to keep going is so important,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, totally. Uh-huh. So like the girls, like as a whole, I mean, I know I'm budded up with Leanne and Jerry, but like as a whole, everyone that comes on to these calls, it's just so encouraging, just totally gets you thinking all the time. That's when you'd ask me about like a piece of business advice. I can't
Yeah,
label just one because there's
yeah,
been so much that's influenced my business and helped me where I am today. And I'm still growing. I'm not saying where I am today is perfect. Like there's still things that I want to do and achieve
yeah.
and there's still goals that I want to hit. So I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. I'm just so proud of where I am compared to where I was last year.
Oh, and you should absolutely be so proud. So what's the dream then, Shona? Like what would be your next steps? What's the dream?
So oh gosh, there's loads, and I guess like this time next year I want to be doing workshops. So recently I'd launched my wreaths as products, so to hang on your door,
Yeah,
your internal door. Like the amount of people that have asked me if they can put them outside or even on someone's like gravestone, well, because they're made from paper, they won't handle very well in
yeah,
the
yeah,
elements. But yeah, workshops to make your own wreaths. So I would have like baskets like this, flowers you can just pick, and then you can make your own wreath, and
yeah.
like we can do a workshop with that. So that was the idea of bringing out the wreaths. But I think bigger term, we're talking about proper big premises and being able to like have loads of mini Shonas, like get
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, I think yeah, big long term. I really need to think what do I see happening. But in like the next year, I can see a lot of face-to-face workshops, a lot of opportunities for you to make your own bouquets just by pulling out all these stems and like bundling them together for your
Love
own
it.
bouquet. Yeah.
I love that.
So
That sounds so amazing. I'd love to come to a Papercut Posies shop and pick
yeah,
stems to make that. That sounds really good. Amazing. And what about, do you have like a quote that you kind of, when it comes to your business, which gets you buzzing, which you think, do you know what? Yeah.
yeah, I do actually, and I was thinking about this because on my Instagram grid, I used to split my color codes with a quote in the middle, but then I actually kind of ran out of quotes. I'm going to go back to it though because there's loads of stuff that I actually do get inspired about.
Yeah.
One of them was by this girl's Erin Hansen. She's an Australian, and you've probably seen it loads.
Okay.
So her quote is, "There's freedom waiting for you in the breeze of the sky, and
Okay.
you am, and so there's freedom waiting for you in the breeze of the sky, and you ask, will I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly?"
Oh, it's so nice. I love that.
So you've probably seen the quote that says, "What if I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly?" So to me, that just sums up everything. Thinking about, should I start a job? Should I go self-employed? Should I bring out this product? Will this fall flat in its face? So constantly asking yourself, have I done the right thing? Like for me, I've got a premises, like I've got a wee workshop, and that was a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's about thinking to yourself, sometimes you let the thought, well, but what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does?
I know.
Like,
I don't have like any really like don't have any regrets as well, isn't it? Because you would always regret not trying. But
yeah,
if you did try and it didn't work out, then it's just a lesson, isn't it? And something else will come of it. So, oh, Shona, it's been
yeah.
so good speaking to you.
Oh, it's been smashing. Like I genuinely thought I'm going to be speaking forever. And see, when I thought to myself, I want to talk about that quote. I want to talk about, what if I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly? Like I just
Oh, it's
think
so
that
nice.
it encourages someone to just pack in their job,
Yeah.
live their dream.
I know, well that's it. It's like I love the quote, feel the fear and do it anyways. That's Susan Jeffries, and it's like, yeah, it's scary being a business owner, scary making decisions every day. It is scary, but just go for it, isn't it? It's just do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. As Nike says, and it
Just
Claire
laugh
who's
about it
on, that was
afterwards.
her quote last week as well. Just go for it.
Yeah, so it was, it was.
Let's
Oh,
have a wee look at
brilliant.
these comments before we sign off. We've got Lauren on saying she would be interested in being a mini Shona. How nice is that?
Oh,
It's so nice. Claire saying it's great having everyone as a sounding board, so that's so lovely as well. And she says your bouquets are stunning, and they are
oh,
amazing.
thank you.
So
Yeah.
anybody watching this, how can they get in touch with you, Shona? Give us all your handles.
Yeah, so I'm on, well, Instagram, Papercut Posies, and Facebook as well. So you can send me a message if you've got any questions, but any orders are through papercutposies.com. Easy peasy.
Easy.
That's where you can upload your pictures and stuff to put on
So
your flowers.
easy. I was
Yeah.
the first to do it, wasn't I? And it was amazing. It was dead easy. Brilliant.
Thank you
Well
so much.
listen, you're amazing. And I'm so
So
looking
good.
forward to following your business journey onward because you're reaching for the sky and it's amazing to see.
Well, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm totally buzzing. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I think I'll need to go a run. Got all the
Oh, I
heading on.
know, I know. I would say I would join you, but I am not there yet with my regime. But maybe one day. But no, listen, enjoy the rest of your day. It's been great
Thank you so
speaking to
much.
you, Shona. We'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.